Dear Sunita Narain ji, today I came across an article by you in which you have said that you would not advocate uh, that Indians should practice and propagate vegetarianism. It truly broke my heart coming from a reputed environmentalist like you. It is shocking, very disheartening for me. The only line that made sense to me was the last line in which you say that we should not use violence. Of course, the use of violence for propagation of anything is highly deplorable and condemnable. But what was even more condemnable was the fact that you were slyly propagating an ideology, a pseudo-ideology, instead of playing your role as an environmentalist. How can you as an environmentalist be so anthropocentric that you completely forget about the plight of the most voiceless, the most marginalized, the most oppressed, and the most tortured animals? Do you support the heinous and barbaric medieval way of thought? And I just want to keep all religions aside. The way of thought that everything is created for the consumption of man and man only? All plants, all animals, birds, rivers, mountains, even women. Because that's what anthropocentricity comes from. Do you really support this vicious way of thought that you have to so adeptly gift wrap it in the cover of secularism and respect for all cultures? If you really want to respect the culture of this great land, respect the Sanatan culture, the perennial culture that propagates Satvikta, VIZ, non-violence and compassion for all living beings. It is the bedrock of all the philosophies of this great land. Now let's come to the facts mentioned by you in this writer. What did you say? You yourself said, and you spoke about and you talked about the disastrous consequences of livestock farming on health and environment. But you were clever. In your clever way of talking about the disastrous consequences, you left the reader confused. My job here is to elucidate the audience and let me fight facts with facts. As an environmentalist, I like to bring to your notice this report titled Long Shadow of the Livestock Industry, which was prepared by the United Nations. And please listen to this as an environmentalist. Livestock produces 40% more greenhouse gases than all global transportation combined. And by 2030, it'll grow 50% more. You worry a lot about forests? Please try and swallow this. Since 1970, more than 90% of the world's rainforests have been cleared only and only to produce livestock pastures. You're an environmentalist. What do you have to say in all that? In the article, you said about the plight of the poor people in India and how they get cheap. Please just go and Google the protein found in beef and in soya and in rajma and the other dals. Shocking, isn't it, that a person of your repute and your acclaim talks like that? Anyways, you want to fight for the plight of the poor? Please get these facts very straight, and this is freakonomics for me. 19 pounds of grain is is required to produce 1 pound of lamb and 26 pounds to produce 1 pound of beef. You know what that is? You're eating out of the plates of the others. There is enough food to feed not only once, twice, thrice, but 12 times each and every citizen of this world. But 40,000 people die of malnutrition related causes globally, 7,000 in India. You know why? Because non-vegetarians and this process of livestock industry eats out of the plate of the others. You really want to save people? Please espouse and propagate vegetarianism. Secondly, do you know the condition of water in India? You know that 1.1 billion people live without safe and clean drinking water. That's like 1 in 6 of us and 1 in 4 of us in India. Yet 19,737 liters of water is wasted to produce just 1 pound of beef, and you say, as an environmentalist, you will not propagate vegetarianism? You know how much that amount of water is? You can take a 7-minute shower daily for an entire year. If you want to save this planet, if you want to save this Mother Earth, don't just talk about these pseudo causes of going green by going green on a green vehicle and changing your bulbs to CFLs and to LEDs. Change your plate, madam. That's what you should propagate. Above all, I really liked how clever you are. You said that India doesn't eat as much meat as US, and so it's not a concern because every US citizen, according to you, eats 123 kilograms of meat in a year, and Indians eat 3 to 5 kilograms of meat. I don't know how you got that fact, but anyways, if that is a fact, do you even consider the grand population of India? And do you know why these figures are so low? Because 47% of Indians are still vegetarians. Instead of you coming out openly and asking people to boycott non-vegetarianism and this strange freakonomics of eating out of the other's plate, what you do, you break the heart of people like me who respect you as an environmentalist, and you say that you will not advocate vegetarianism. What do you want, that Indians start eating like Americans? That we too have a global average of 123 kilograms of meat every year per citizen? Do you know what that'll do to this country? Don't you know how much meat production has grown in this country? Please be an environmentalist. Don't push the agenda of some politically vitiated institutions or some political parties. I respect you, and I really have done that. Please join hands and just let's fight this global menace of livestock farming and livestock production. Animals are not just consumable products. They have a life. As an environmentalist, you should value them. Trust me, had I been speaking something like this 100 years ago in the favor of women, the mob would have gone against me. Had I been speaking something like this 30 years ago in the favor of homosexuals, again the mob would have boycotted me. Right now, more than racism, talk about speciesism. It is a hard fact, and the only way and the only culture that can come out is our Sattvic culture. Please espouse that. I mean no disrespect to you, but Sunita ji, we consume 1 billion animals each day. 65% of our fishing, 65% of the fishing areas in the seas have gone lifeless. Most of the fishes and the exotic species have been hunted to near extinction. Please, when you look at nature as an environmentalist, don't just look at it as just only a human angle. Don't be that selfish. Don't be anthropocentric. Thank you.